So at this point in my life, I was becoming a lot more serious about becoming more disciplined in my life. I was getting into things like quitting the video games, stopping watching social media and like pornography and all that stuff, and getting into better habits such as like exercising, meditating, reading, and all that good stuff. But the thing was for me, even though I had these commitments, it was just hard to lock down. Like I couldn't get myself to just have the self-discipline to keep doing the things that I knew were like right and like good for me that would make me progress. And it was so hard like to stop falling back into those things that, were pretty much just stunning my progress. Now, in case you don't know who I am, my name is Neal, and I've just been on a growth journey from like a while back. I was pretty much just like a fucking loser a while back, but since then I've grown, and I want to help like you in these videos, like younger guys just like you, to help them grow themselves and like improve the quality of their lives. So if that's something that you're interested in, particularly on like how to gain more self-discipline for yourself, keep watching because this advice might be helpful for you. So there's a saying that success, or the success that you get in your life, 80% of it is your psychology. And I believe that's really true. Pretty much the first thing is that if people don't have good enough reasons, they're not going to perform. They're not going to do the things that they need to do. For example, if me and you are in a room and I tell you to break down this door, you might give it a few shoves and a few kicks, but after a while, if it's not budging, you're just going to quit. But if instead I say, okay, if you break down this door, I'm going to give you $1 million and like a genie magical lamp with like 3 wishes that you'll get if you just break down this door. I guarantee you're going to find a way to break down that door, because $1 million and like a fucking genie with 3 wishes, that's fucking awesome, right? The thing is, a lot of us don't have like strong enough reasons. We haven't thought of them. Like if it's exercise, for example, some of you might be trying to like get into exercise, but like it's kind of for you because like, it's just this thing that this YouTuber said that might be good for my health. And, I kind of want to try it, but that's not a good enough reason. It's not going to really push you to go past the point where, it's really difficult. So my advice for this is, for the habits that you're trying to implement into your life, really think, just like sit down for a moment and think, okay, how is this actually going to benefit my life? Not what somebody else, or not the reasons that somebody else give me. Why do I personally want to do this? Because if you have strong enough reasons, you're going to want to, perform better. Like for me, exercise used to be this thing of like, oh yeah, someone just told me that it would be good for me. But now it's like, well, no, I want to keep exercising so that I have good health in the future. So when I have kids or grandkids, I'm still going to be physically able to like play with them and just like enjoy life far into my future, and not just like be like these obese people that we see now that really just seem to be living miserable lives. Like I don't want to live like that. So let's create a strong enough reason for you, know why you want to do it, and that's going to really help you. The second thing to really help improve your self-discipline is to implement a habit tracker. Pretty much this is just a piece of paper, and you write down like habits on the top, and then like as the days, I wish I fucking brought one with me, but I'll try to explain the best I can. Pretty much on the top row, you just have like the habits, say like exercise, meditate, or reading. And then as you go down like vertically, you like list the days down, and pretty much you just stick this on a wall or some prominent place where you're going to be able to see it every single day. And if you do the habit for that day, you give it a check mark. If you don't, you just leave it blank. If you keep this up and you like keep doing this over time, you're going to know like where you actually stand. It's kind of going to be like your own personal coach. When you are able to see how consistent you're actually being, it's going to like be a wake up call. Like, oh shit, I'm not being as consistent as I thought I was. Let me actually, lock this in, make sure I'm actually doing it. Yeah. And if you do end up using this, don't be like how I was earlier. And like, once you figure out that you're not actually consistent as you thought you were, like just take it down and start a new one. It's literally better if you just keep it up for like until it's pretty much finished, because it's going to show you where you actually are at, and you're going to be able to make improvements like from where you actually like are. You'll actually like know if you're making progress or not, pretty much. Third thing, major point, is that you just want to make doing the undisciplined habits harder. Like, I remember there was a lot of times like when I was trying to like get a better diet, I didn't want to I wanted to stop eating the processed food, like the sugary cereals and like snacks and all that bullshit. But pretty much in my environment, I just wasn't setting it up like well for myself. Like I just have a bunch of snacks everywhere, and just like, it was just making it harder for me to be disciplined. if you can do things like set up your environment or just put yourself in places where it's going to be easier for you to follow through with your disciplines, things are going to be way easier. Like, for example, if you know that you want to like reduce your time playing video games or stop playing video games at all, if you still have like a console or like on your computer or wherever you play games, let's just say for you have a computer, right? If you still have those games on your computer, delete them. If it's on you play a lot of games on your phone, delete those apps. Like, just make it easier so you don't keep continuing. Like, it's a very simple concept, but a lot of people just overlook it. They just like keep having those like cues in front of their face and wonder why it's so hard for them to stop. Fourth thing is that you want to plan and schedule your disciplines. So a big mistake that I used to make is that I kind of had the idea, okay, I want to do like my reading, I want to do my exercise, I want to do my meditation, but it was just kind of like, I didn't know when I was going to do it. It's kind of just like this vague idea, like, oh yeah, when I get home, I'll end up doing it. When you actually schedule it, when you say, okay, at this time, on this date, I'm going to do this, it becomes a lot clearer to your mind. Like, your mind is already primed to do it. Like, it's just like that. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to make that decision. It's just like there. Like, if you write down on paper, okay, every day, as soon as I get home from school or home from work, I'm going to do this exercise or I'm going to read one chapter of a book. That's way more clear, and your brain is going to be able to act on that a lot more effectively than if you just say, oh yeah, while I'm home, I'm just going to make sure I end up reading, like whenever I have the free time. You see like how those two different things are, it's just a difference in clarity. And when you're able to be more clear, when you're going to actually do the habit, you're going to make a lot more progress and be able to be more disciplined. Fifth thing, it's more of like a principle or a mindset that you just have to understand, is of progressive overload. Now, if you've ever been in the gym or you just like work out, you'll understand this concept. If we take a skinny guy who's never worked out, never been in the gym, and we tell him to bench 225, pretty much like lift a lot of weight, it's going to be like impossible for him. He's not going to be able to lift it. And what's actually going to happen, like psychologically, like if he's not careful, he's going to actually like get really discouraged. He's like not going to want to go to the gym anymore because like he starts saying to himself, oh, I'm weak, I can't even like bench this thing. But it's like, well, yeah, obviously you weren't able to bench 225. You've never been to the gym. You like don't work out at all. What we want to do, like for you, whatever level you're at, you want to start with where you are and just progressively overload. You don't want to overwhelm yourself and like say, okay, I'm like going from this person who's just like playing video games every day on social media, like all the time, and then immediately go to being like straight to discipline. Like, oh yeah, just like cut everything off. I mean, some people are able to do it, but it just doesn't stick as long for a lot of people. What I recommend is just to like do progressive overload. So you start small, just make a small minor improvement one day. Once you get used to that, okay, now you just increase the level. So like if you're trying to get more disciplined with reading, and you know, reading is just like this really hard thing for you, you don't want to say, okay, I'm going to read a book every single day. Like, good fucking luck with that. You could say, okay, I'm just going to read 1 page every single day. You get used to that, you start leveling up, and then you say, okay, 2 pages, 5 pages. Okay, now I can read a chapter. You just make these progressive overloads, you make these small improvements, and eventually you get to that point where you want to, and it's like, it doesn't feel overwhelming. It's not like a big shock to your nervous system or anything like that. Now, since you've gotten this far into this video, I can tell that you're actually serious about like becoming more disciplined. Like, you're actually serious about this. Like, a lot of the other people who like clicked on this video, they like already just clicked off and like went off to do some other thing. So I can tell that you're a lot more serious about this. So if you got some value from this video, I want you to click the subscribe button. It's going to help YouTube like show more videos like this to you and like less of the clickbaity bullshit, like low value entertainment videos that might be in your feed. And also, if you like want to, I guess, deepen this relationship that you have, like this parasocial relationship, you can join my email list. There I can like share some content that I can't really share on YouTube because there's various reasons. But more important than any of that, I just want you to take action on like this video. Like, if there's something that popped out to you that you realize, oh yeah, like I didn't think of that, maybe I should start doing this. Or like, especially if there's something that you're not doing that you're kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, oh yeah, that doesn't apply to me. do that thing, because that's probably what's going to help you out the most to become more self-disciplined. I really do hope that you got some value from this video. Take action and peace out.